Yeah, I'm just going to make sure that we have the mic. Subject pronouns are the things which replace noun, right? Pronoun, which replace noun when nouns are acting as subject, right? Je, tu, il, elle. So these are replacing the actual subjects. We had je, which is I, first person singular, tu, which is you, second person singular. We had il, elle, which is third person singular, which means he or she. It can also mean it, right? Guys, we saw some examples that it can mean it. Can you guys tell me for which examples it can translate to it?
Any non-living thing.
Yeah,
Inanimate objects.
Inanimate objects, right? Latha or la chaise, right? We saw some examples like that. La table, la vache is the animate. Okay, so these are inanimate objects like table, chair, stuff like that. Okay, going back a little bit, I remember Alok asked something, and I'm going to add that here, that subject pronoun, that is on. Okay, I'm going to add that on. It has multiple usages, but the usage that we are going to study for now is informal we. We, informal. It has multiple usages, but the one which is very frequent you will observe in French is informal we. Okay, but the thing is that although it is informal we, it is conjugated like il and elle, like third person singular, right? That's why we have put it here in this group. But it actually means one of the usages is informal we. And we're going to take examples that will make it clear for you. Okay?
Oui.
So, nous, we, then we have vous, which is you all, right? Vous can also mean something else, right, Alok?
You with respect.
Yeah, second person singular. It could also mean second person singular, you. We're going to take examples of that also, right? Basic usage of vous, though, as a subject pronoun is you all, second person plural, right? You all. Okay, this is the additional usage for formality. Okay, then we have il, elle, which is the third person plural, which means they, right? It could be they masculine or they feminine, depending on the composition of the group. Cool?
Oui.
So we then studied the conjugations of être, this is infinitive form of the verb, in simple present tense, which also happens to be the conjugations for present continuous tense in French. So those are same in French, simple present and present continuous. So for example, this is je suis, tu es. What is the conjugation for il, elle and on?
A with T,
Right.
EST.
Right. Now the only thing, Alok, as we discussed earlier, when we say il est, elle est, we say he is, she is. Okay. But when we talk about this combination, on a, it will translate. Okay. When we talk about informal we, it will translate as we are. Informal. I'm right. We're pointing it informal. This is something, Alok, that it's not like mandatory for you. If you talk about exam perspective, it's not mandatory for you to use on a. You can totally use nous sommes for saying we are. Okay. This is something that is used on in colleges, in day-to-day French, very informally. But if you think that maybe this is too confusing for you, you don't want to use it, you want to stick to nous sommes for we are, go with it. It's not like if you use nous sommes in informal situation, you will be laughed at. It's not like that. Correct?
Oui.
But you can use on a as informal we are. Vous êtes, you all are, but Nazneen, because we know that vous subject pronoun can be used for second person singular, this can also translate as
You all are.
no, another translation will be you are, the second person singular with respect.
Okay.
Right? You all are is second person plural. Second person singular is you are, formal.
Correct.
Yeah. Ils sont, elles sont, which is they are, masculine, feminine. Ils sont, masculine they are, elles sont, feminine they are. Okay. Let's take more examples. So, je suis Zoshi master. Soha est très intelligente. Okay. Shubham est sympa. Chloé est française. Correct? What's the meaning of this sentence?
Chloe is a French.
Is French. And what are these Anant? L, il, L.
L is for female, il is for male.
What is the terminology for this thing? AB?
Pronouns.
Subject pronouns.
Subject pronouns.
Yeah. There is one more thing that you guys, we have been speaking English for, like, at least in my case, for 20 plus years now, maybe 25 years, even more. But I really did not know any of these things like 2, 3 years back till I started learning Spanish. I didn't know that is subject, what is subject pronoun, or what is a conjunction, or what is a preposition, or what is a demonstrative adjective, or all these terms in grammar. I really don't know them. I mean, I didn't know them for English either, despite being able to speak English. Like, maybe some of you are also like in the similar situation as me. Like, you don't know this kind of grammatical terminologies, correct?
Oui.
And I remember a couple of students in batch one, they were like, yeah, I lived in US for so long. I don't know all these things in English also. Maybe I don't care about these things. I just want to learn the French, like, like just by listening and speaking. That's true, and you can totally do that. You can learn the language without learning about all these grammatical constructs, as long as you kind of, let's say, Neil understands that il means she and il means he, and he doesn't have to know what is subject pronoun, right? He can just still use it. In general, we can learn a language without knowing all these terminologies. There's something called as disjunctive pronoun. I don't even know what is that, like in English, disjunctive pronoun or whatever. So, but you will observe that when we teach or when we learn French, we will use a lot of this terminology, subject pronouns, demonstrative adjective, possessive adjective, and all these things. I'll tell you why. Especially in French. French people or French inventors, they have used this nous for 5 things. They have used Louis for 5 things. They have used vous for 5 things. Okay? You will see the same word being used for multiple purposes in French, unfortunately. So it becomes extremely confusing what is what. So this kind of things, knowing exactly what is what helps a lot. And you will see that when we study. Okay? So that is the reason why we kind of, right from the day one in grammar, we kind of tell you this is subject pronoun, so that there's a purpose behind it. It's not like we just like to make your life harder. It's not like that. A lot of things in French are very confusing because they don't pronounce the S and they do that. So everything sounds similar. So how will you able to distinguish, right? So that's why we use these terms and we teach them so that you know what is exactly what. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's the reason. Otherwise, I'm sure that like if you spend like 8 months in Paris, you can learn to speak French without knowing, subject pronoun or demonstrative adjective or whatever it is.
Yes.
Now let's quickly talk about usage of être. What are some situations where we use the verb être, which is to be? Okay. So one thing is nationality. Être is used to talk about nationality. Okay. For example, we can say je suis, or